Hey there, Robin here at Toadstool Tarot. I recently saw somebody do a hashtag along the lines of some of the most beautiful decks in my collection, and I thought, okay, I'll give that a shot. It just so happens that those particular half dozen or so decks are decks that I'm using now in the fall of the year, which is my most beautiful season. This one, first on my list, I put in a little see-through tin box because it comes in a, box. You know, the average one with, why am I at a loss for words? Tuck box, which I hate. And I was worried about it damaging these beautiful cards by constantly opening, closing, reopening the tuck box. So I put it in a little tin. It's the Dreamkeepers Tarot by Liz Houston. I should tell you all that I went through these particular decks in advance and selected a handful of cards from each deck that I thought were the most beautiful cards in the deck to give you an idea of why perhaps I chose these as my most beautiful decks. These cards really are lovely. So that is the Dreamkeepers Tarot. These aren't in any particular order on my most beautiful decks list. They're just the ones I'm using the most at the moment. Second on the list is the Lonely Dreamer Tarot by M. Witherspoon. I think you'll probably note a common theme in most of these is the color aspect. And that's also a theme to my favorite season, fall, which is the most colorful. Let's see now. Next on the list is the Tarocco Bizzarro. This is fairly new to my collection. This is the most beautiful Ace of Cups I think I've ever run across. And while this has a comical aspect to it, the design work and the colors are I just find beautiful. Let's see. Next on the list is the Trick or Tarot, which is a perfect choice for this time of the year. And I have full walkthroughs of all these on my channel, just in case anyone's interested. Next is the Little Monsters Tarot, which I don't have in a box. The box is an oversized tuck box. And this is a deck that I would use much more if it were a more manageable size, because I really do think this is one of my most beautiful decks. But the cards are a little large and unmanageable for me, despite the fact that the line work and design work is so exquisitely delicate. It's funny, actually, the look and feel of the color and the sheen on these cards reminds me of scrimshaw, which is engravings on whalebone usually, or I think that's the history behind it, and then they fill in the engraved area with ink. And this is just ink line work, but because the color of the cards is almost a bone or eggshell color, it has that quality of scrimshaw. Next on my list is everybody knows this one from me, the RWS 2.0, which I had a tin made for. You're all familiar with this artwork. You might not be familiar with the coloring. This is Pamela Coleman Smith's artwork, sharpened up line-wise and recolored by James Rickliff in very dramatic atmospheric coloring. Now we come to one of my own. I wouldn't exactly say this is one of my most beautiful decks. Art-wise, it's very simplistic, but color-wise, it is one of my most beautiful. Look at those colors. So the imagery is very simplistic. Many may not find it beautiful. I do, however, find the color palette beautiful. Despite the fact that I lay claim to its creation myself. And last but not least, a personal favorite with me. Oh, that was the Eyes Wide Tarot, in case I forgot to mention it. This one is my first deck, the Open Face Tarot. This is beautiful to me on a very personal level, a sort of an inner soul beauty. The images aren't, strictly speaking, beautiful. But it feels beautiful to me in the way that the unseen is, the soul is. The heart of a matter. The awe, the openness, the wonder. So there you have it. Those are my personal choices for some of my most beautiful tarot decks. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time.